the downs, the sideways, the around. Seth and Sean Sports here on a Wednesday afternoon.
What jersey are you wearing?
I am wearing the guy that I hope Zach Wilson becomes in the next couple of weeks, and that is Chad Pennington. Do not make any mistakes. Just get the ball out. I know he doesn't like throwing more than 10 yards. That's okay.
My Garrett Wilson keeper isn't feeling great, although that catch was ridiculous.
And that's okay. We don't need him to throw more than 10 yards, provided every 10-yard throw is to his team.
He only had one to the other team.
But he had a couple of really bad throws. Seth and Sean Sports. Seth Kamens is over there. I'm Sean Palmer over here. Welcome to our Wednesday afternoon edition as I need to jump on a jet plane. Don't know if I'll be back again.
Not sure you want to be.
No. Yeah. Look, it was a very interesting weekend in general for the NFL. By the way, we got none of the players that we put in for. 0.
Okay.
Zach Wilson went for 65. Just wanted to. This is exactly what I told you he would go for, I think. I said between 55 and 65. So,
for shits and giggles, I put him in at 3 in my other league.
fantasy, I'm 2-0. I think you went 4-1, right?
Yeah.
So a productive week on that end. Not a very productive week for New York sports fans in general. First of all, the Cowboys kind of just said, "Who's your daddy?" to everybody that was in Big Blue on Sunday night. And that's number one. Number two, Aaron Rodgers. Well, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right?
Actually, that's 1 through 100. The Giants are about 101. They stunk, but the offensive line scares the crap out of me. But whatever, it's game one.
It's game one, right? Well, as people say to me all the time, how did you feel about Monday night? We won the battle and lost the war. That's basically what the Jets looked at. We won the battle. We won the one game.
Who cares about one game?
Right. Well, that's the answer to the Giants, right? It's one game. It's the opposite. Yeah. I'm saying this.
I think the issue wasn't that they lost. I don't think it's a surprise they lost to the Cowboys, who are always a bad matchup for them.
They're 10. I think they're 11-1 in their last 12 against the Giants.
I think it's 12. I think it's 12-1. Yeah, it's something along those lines. But it was, to me, the issue was the offensive line, which I expected to see improvement with Evan Neal in his second year and some of the other younger guys. I mean, that was a disaster.
And Andrew Thomas is now hurt and probably won't be playing this week.
And that was what, that to me, that is my big concern. Because I don't know how people crap on Daniel Jones when he literally had not 1 second to breathe in that back. I don't get it. I guess I'm a little bit of an apologist for him, but not significant. And I cannot understand how people are annoyed at him. What exactly was he supposed to do at that point?
Yeah, and I want to check back in especially when people are talking about Daniel Jones and whatnot, back to the Baker Mayfield draft and the Saquon Barkley draft, right? I will tell you, the Giants look smart. they are the only look at that.
No, they're not. They should have traded back.
Well, okay, but I'm saying of the players that they took, right? The number 1 pick's on his 4th team.
Yes.
The number 3 pick's on his 3rd team.
Yep.
I mean, if you look at the Sam Darnold draft, and I don't have the entire draft, 2018. So, number 1, Baker Mayfield, 4th team, right? 4th team, maybe 5th at this point.
Cleveland,
Rams, Tampa Bay, Carolina.
When was he in Carolina?
Was he on Carolina last year?
Oh, that's right. He went to Carolina and then got traded to the Rams.
Right. So he's on his 4th team, right? Okay. So
I'm not killing him on the Rams. You can't kill him on the Rams thing. They knew he was a temporary.
No. I'm saying, but he's on his 4th team. Okay. Sam Darnold on his 3rd team. Denzel Ward, you weren't drafting him anyway. Chubb, you might have drafted Chubb. Because
Chubb went four. No, again, this is off the top of my head. Chubb went.
Ward went 4. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh.
Denzel Ward went 4.
No, he didn't. He went 9th.
Nope. 9th was Michael Lynchy.
Ward went 4?
Denzel Ward went 4. Bradley Chubb went 5. Quentin
Nelson went 6.
And then Josh Allen goes
7. And Josh Allen went 7. Okay. I don't remember Denzel Ward going that early. That's
Denzel
weird.
Ward went 4. It was a trade from Houston.
What year draft was this? 17? 18?
18. I'm looking at Wikipedia. I can't. I'd be shocked if this was wrong.
No, you're right. I don't remember. It's funny. I remember everything else. I don't remember the Ward pick.
So the point is, yes, they probably should have traded back, but at the same time, of all the players that they were in line to go get, they were never in the running to go get Josh Allen. Josh Allen wasn't even considered at number 2, right? No. The guys that were considered at number 2 were Baker, Sam Darnold, and Josh Rosen. They did pretty well.
Yes, in comparison. By the way, it's fun. I just opened the ESPN analysis
of what?
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Pre-draft.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson is the closest NFL comparison for Mayfield, but there's still obvious flaws in that comp. He is one of the most polarizing in this class due to his outstanding character and leadership, but debatable maturity. He comes with red flags.
None of that is wrong.
Nope.
Even down to Russell Wilson being the comp, none of that is wrong.
There is no question Darnold developed some bad habits with his footwork, but these issues are correctable. He is the most complete quarterback in this class and has the type of makeup most good NFL starters possess.
Well, that's great. If you could throw it to the right team, that would be better too.
Allen, elite arm strength, good.
I don't want to talk about Josh Allen, please. Aside from the fact that we've beaten him, he's 1-5 against the Jets in the last 6. I don't. That is very little solace to me to the fact that I do not have Josh Allen on my team. Very little.
His ceiling is incredible, but so is his bust potential.
Which is exactly what Monday night was.
Yeah, Monday night was terrible. Is he just not concentrated? Like meaning too many commercials, too much.
No, come on.
I don't know. That's what people are saying. I think that's silly.
He made a couple of bad throws. He should look. What you saw on Monday night out of Josh Allen is what you saw out of Brett Favre almost every week. The difference is Brett Favre generally completed those downfield throws because he had better wide receivers than Stephon Diggs wasn't the guy that was down the field. But Favre threw it to triple coverage all the time, right?
Yep.
I mean, that was his game, right?
Yes, it was.
If you had to compare Josh Allen to 2 quarterbacks, Favre would be my first, and Kenny Stabler would be my second. And maybe Darryl LaMonica would be my third.
I was about to say LaMonica would probably
be right. They're mad bombers. That's who they are. They live and die by the long ball. I don't have any problem with it. Look, if you think that the Bills, because they lost that game, are going to wind up 8-9, you're crazy. That team is a good team. It's a very good team. They played probably the best defense in the NFL. I would say the Jets are probably the best defense in the NFL. Certainly one of the top 3. But I believe that they actually are the best defense in the NFL. And if you are the Jets right now, you're looking for Zach Wilson. Look, you don't need Zach Wilson to fundamentally get better. You need Zach Wilson to play smart. Those are big differences. When on one of Aaron Rodgers' 4 plays, yes, 4 plays, he took the ball, he scrambled backwards about 10 yards and threw the ball away, right? That was one of his 4 plays. If Zach Wilson does that, the Jets will be fine. If Zach Wilson does what he did later in the game, which was go back 25 yards and then barely throw the ball away, the Jets are going to be in a lot of trouble. It's that simple. It really is. Do I think that the line from CBS Sportsline is that the Jets wins prediction is 5.7 now.
That seems low.
It was 9.8 with Rodgers. 5
Yeah,
points without.
that seems low. I mean, I don't know their schedule, but still.
The ceiling for the ceiling for Wilson right now, the ceiling for the Jets.
7?
No, I think the ceiling is 9.
Oh, okay. I thought CBS came up with a ceiling.
I'm thinking the ceiling is 9 wins and you make the playoffs.
That seems about right.
Right?
Yeah.
Do I have them going to the AFC Championship game, which I had with Aaron Rodgers? No. But I think, could they get into the playoffs still? Yes. Look, the low is 4 to 5 wins.
Yes.
And you draft another quarterback next year.
Right, because we're looking at or you trade for Kyler.
No.
He's not a Jets quarterback. He is not. Well, I don't think he's a quarterback made for New York.
Well, the other thing is Aaron Rodgers coming back next year?
I think so.
He's got 50 million reasons to come back next year, right?
Exactly. I'd come back to do this job for 50 million.
Really? You do it for 50 million? Not just 1 million? You do it for 50 million?
I would do it for 1 million.
So I was on the Gary H show earlier yesterday, and I think I told Gary to join at 1:30, and I meant 2:30, but maybe he'll join again today. And there was something about Monday night's game that was, I said 2 p.m. 2:30. Wait, 2 p.m. Yeah, that's when I want him. Okay, so I said, and I ask you this. So do you remember the first basketball game that Jake ever watched in a bar?
I do.
Okay.
Because I still have pictures of it.
So that game was the last time that I felt like a kid. Like really like a kid, running around the bar, right? I mean, it was John Gillen hitting a bank shot to win the game against Duke.
Who's John Gillen? I don't remember John Gillen.
John Gillen was the point guard for Syracuse. Monday night was the same eureka moment in a bar. It was me and my buddy, and you know this. I predicted the win even after Rodgers went down. I said we will win this game.
Yep.
And we did. And those moments are few and far between. They're incredibly fleeting moments where you have absolutely nothing. You're worrying about absolutely nothing. And you are just in eureka. So let me ask you this. When's the last time in sports you felt that way? Was it the Giants winning the Super Bowl?
No, it's been since then. Give me a minute to think about it. It's not something off the top of my head.
Because my buddy, while you think about this, my buddy texted me and said, you know what? It's my buddy that was at the bar. Texted me and said, it sucks that Rodgers went down, but we will never forget this game.
Yeah.
We will never forget the way we felt at the end of that game. Because he's got 3 kids. He's got a wife. He went home, right? And I went home. And later, the next morning, we talked and we're like, man, that Rodgers injury sucks, right? But for 20 minutes, you didn't care that Aaron Rodgers was hurt. You didn't care that the Jets' season was probably garbage at this point. And you didn't care about that you had to work the next day. None of that mattered for probably 10 minutes of time. Nothing mattered for 10 minutes of time. It was absolute and complete jubilation.
Okay, so we're gonna take a step back here. Think about the last time the Giants won the Super Bowl for me.
I know the last time we were.
No, you remember the rest of it?
We were completely hammered. I was crying, but not because the Giants won, because the Pats lost.
That wasn't quite where I was going. That was part of the really good part of the night. There was
This is in Seth's single days.
This is in my single days. I think there have been a bunch of holy S moments. Even if they weren't for teams that I specifically rooted for.
Right, but the teams that you root for is when you get wrapped up in it. It's not.
I think you get wrapped up in sports greatness.
Okay.
Regardless of whether your team is in it or not. Now you don't have the same. it doesn't mean as much to you.
Correct.
But you still have that great exuberance because you are a sports fan.
That's true.
And when the Cubs won the World Series, that great Game 7 against Cleveland.
Yep.
And when Chris Jenkins hits the 3-pointer for Villanova to win the title.
I was at that game.
And I mean, I'm thinking off the top of my head here, but even some of the great, really amazing Olympic moments where you don't remember where for 4 or 5 minutes, you're just going, holy crap.
Yeah.
Like this happened. And again, you may not remember the specifics. The Landon Donovan goal for the U.S. against Ghana and, the 94th minute. As a sports, look, I have been lucky enough, you haven't, that my teams have relatively done well over my lifetime. Giants have won 4. I had to laugh, by the way, to make yourself feel old. I was on the phone with Zach Siskin, who's been on the show once or twice before.
Sure.
And we were talking about he's a Bills fan, but we were talking about how much this was miserable just in general. And I said, look, I'm lucky. I'm a Giants fan. I witnessed 4 Super Bowls. He goes, you only saw 2. I'm 47 years old. I was 10 when we won the first one. I was 14 when we won the second one. I remember being on my knees praying
Scott
when
Norwood
was kicking the field goal.
Yep.
Do you remember that? I go, yeah.
Absolutely.
And you would remember exactly. I go, I remember that game better than I remember, honestly, the Giants Patriots Super Bowl 4, the second one, which was a terrible game. I mean,
all I remember is Mario Manningham's catch. That's the
Manningham's catch. The hit by Jay Alford at the end.
Nope, don't remember that. It was Mario. The only thing I remember is Mario Manningham's catch.
Well, and Bradshaw accidentally scoring with like 40 seconds left.
Yeah, no.
He fell into the end zone. He wasn't.
No. I get it, but that's the only thing I remember. Norwood.
But I've had enough of, like, you had Syracuse. You have the Keem Warwick block.
Yes.
I have the Maryland ACC championship of 2005 was bigger for me than the championship was from that standpoint. That simply because the game against Indiana was so bad and we played so bad.
I know where I was for that game too. Yep.
Right. I was supposed to be in Atlanta, but I was getting over an ex who lived in Atlanta and I didn't want to be there. I got drunk with 20 fraternity brothers at a bar in Bethesda, Maryland. It was great. But I remember beating Duke with John Gilchrist in overtime to break like the 4-year Duke ACC championship run. That one still lives with me. But to me, the last 10 years, to be perfectly honest, there hasn't been much to really be that.
Oh, and that's what I'm saying, right? So to your point, these moments are fleeting, right? We say
the moments when it's specific to your team.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
But not the great sports moments that move you regardless. We're moved as sports fans by other.
I agree with that. But so I think there is a distinction, and there's a distinction with a difference.
Okay.
I concede the fact that when Mario Chalmers hit that shot, I was in awe, right? I mean,
you were 4 seconds. You were 4 seconds late.
Seconds ahead of you, but still in awe, right?
No, you were behind me.
I was in awe. But I got to tell you,
I said, "Oh shit!" and you went, "What?"
But 5 minutes after that shot, I went to bed and I was okay, right? It didn't jump, right? It didn't last. It was a fleeting moment. It was a moment. When you saw Landon Donovan, it was a moment. When I saw TJ Yoshi, it was a moment. We were there at 10 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, and then we went and did everything we usually do on a day, right? I went straight to the gym after that. I know I did.
I went to go meet my girlfriend, who I've been dating for 2 days at that point.
Right, but the point is, you went on with it. It wasn't. You didn't get wrapped up in it for 20 minutes. You got wrapped up in it for a minute or 2 minutes or maybe 5 minutes.
Look, if you're saying for an extended period of time, it's only going to be attributable to your teams.
Right. I've never ran around. There were 3 times in my life I ran around the bar. One was when Syracuse was beating Virginia in the Elite Eight.
Elite Eight game. Yep.
and I was in Phoenix at a movie theater bar, and everybody thought I was insane, which, truth be told, I probably was, because I brought an iPad into the movie The Justice League to watch the game. So I probably was insane. That's number one. Number two, John Gillen and Duke, Syracuse over Duke. And you saw me run around the bar. Like,
should I post a picture? See if I can find a picture of that and post it.
I don't think there is a picture of that. If you have one, that's great. The only picture
I got it.
The only picture I remember of that is Jake. I remember Jake's first game.
I don't have a video of you running around.
Right. I think we have Jake's. I remember Jake's picture and you posting first game. And then there was Monday night. And I got to tell you, first of all, the win was the change in dynamic between you've lost your season and something could conceivably be good out of this. And I got to tell you, Seth, that victory could be more important than Detroit beating Kansas City on Thursday night. It's an in-conference, in-division, wild card potential victory.
Okay, I understand. Yeah.
So while you lost your guy, which we did, you saw where this team needs to go going forward. They need to do what the Giants did. They need to take the air out of the damn ball. And Zach Wilson needs to do his best Jeff Hostetler impersonation, which is, look, when you lost Phil Simms and you were 10-1, and I remember that year, 1992.
90. No, it was 90 because that's when Hostetler won and they won the title.
Right, 90. You lost Phil Simms. Look, sports radio is not what sports radio is today. ESPN is not what ESPN is today. Certainly not. You don't have first take and all that. But let's presume that it was. You would have heard the Giants season is over. We just lost our MVP.
Yes.
Right? And then little known Jeff Hostetler comes on and does everything I'm asking Zach Wilson to do. Be smart, take care of the ball, and run for a first down every once in a while. And that's what he did. And he won a Super Bowl doing it. So can Wilson win a Super Bowl? No. Not in my opinion. But stranger things have happened. As somebody said, was it you? I'm not sure it was you or somebody else.
Of course it was me. Kurt Warner.
You called me up and you said Kurt Warner. Exactly. Let him be Kurt Warner. Well, only in my dreams will he be Kurt Warner. And it is a hefty dream. So what else do you take? Look, we have a lot of surprises in week one, right? We have Seattle laying an egg. We have Pittsburgh laying an egg, both at home.
Pittsburgh laying an egg to possibly the best team in the NFL is not a shock. Seattle getting dominated by the Rams without Cooper Kupp is utterly confusing.
Well, I disagree with you. Pittsburgh laying an egg, Pittsburgh losing wouldn't be a problem. But the way Pittsburgh lost at home, the way Cincinnati lost, the way Seattle lost.
Well, I'm differentiating these teams.
Okay.
Pittsburgh lost to a great team.
Agreed.
A potentially great team.
Potentially.
Cincinnati lost to a potentially very good team. Good defense, really good running back.
Yeah.
Potentially, we don't know what we're getting in quarterback, but we're there.
Yep.
Who the hell are the Rams going to be this year? We don't know if Cooper Kupp's coming. When we assume Cooper Kupp's coming back in 6 weeks. People were writing off Matthew Stafford. Cam Akers had 22 carries for 29 yards. I'm not sure we couldn't have done any better, any worse.
He scored a touchdown though, which was helpful.
That was nice, but I'm not feeling too great about him on my fantasy teams. Look at me. I'm a carries compiler. That's how I do RB2. And I don't know if we're getting that if you're going to have 22 carries for 29 yards. Who the hell else do they have? Name 3 players on the Rams defense. Jack Youngblood's not walking through that door. Jalen Ramsey's not walking through that door.
I got to tell you, I can't name 3 on the Rams defense.
No, I can't either. I know 1.
Aaron Donald. Yeah. That would be
And I'm
it.
sure there's another name or two that I would recognize, but I don't know who they are. In Seattle, with the great receiving trio, and the stud running back, and the quarterback who resurrected his career, and a really good coach and a really good GM, and the Legion of Boom Part 2. What the hell happened? I don't even think you could put those games. Again, it's week 1 of the season. Who the hell knows? Cincinnati could go 4-12. But in general, at a high level, those 3 wins are not the same to me at all.
Well, but they do, and you're right, because they do also have much different significance. The Seattle Rams game, again, in division, in conference.
Yes.
That is a really, really bad loss.
Yes, it is. It's a terrible loss.
It's a terrible loss, right? It's a terrible loss. The Cleveland-Cincinnati game is a terrible loss for Cincinnati. And not to the point that it's not just the way that they lost. Look, Joe Burrow threw for 80 yards. 80. I can't remember. The last time he probably was in a game where he threw 80 yards, he was on Ohio State.
Because he was on the bench and didn't play.
Exactly. I mean, if you're looking at Indy had a chance to pull out against Jacksonville. Another terrible loss. Minnesota losing to Tampa Bay.
Awful loss.
Right? Awful loss, right? I would have loved Arizona to beat Washington because half the survivor pools would have been gone. Like that was definitely one of the 2 biggest survivor pool entrants this week were Baltimore at Houston, where Baltimore took care of business 25-9, and Washington and Arizona, because everybody wanted to use Washington once. And that almost came to fruition. But here's another one. Denver losing to Las Vegas, 17-16. I don't know what you get out of either one of those teams, but the pass leader was Garoppolo at 200 yards. The rushing leader was Javonte Williams at 52. I mean, and that's for both teams. So it's kind of like, where are these guys going? Philadelphia pulled out. That would have been a terrible loss too.
Awful. I agree.
So
absolutely agree.
So, I mean, what teams were you impressed by this week, if any? Seeing that it's week 1. I mean, look, I was impressed by Dallas.
I was going to say, you kind of have to be impressed. I don't understand the hatred for Prescott. The team was up 26-0 in a rainstorm in the middle of the second quarter. Why would they be throwing the ball?
Right.
What's the point? I think you have to be with Dallas. You have to be impressed with San Francisco. Look, I think you need to be impressed with the Rams. I don't know how you aren't. I mean, obviously, I don't think it's going to be a continuation, but for 1 week, thought Jordan Love looked good. I thought Detroit played. I mean, I thought Detroit played well, but it's hard to take it seriously when Kansas City's 3 best players weren't there. And if I'm saying let's not overreact to game 1 in one direction, I kind of have to also say let's not overreact to game 1 in the other direction too.
That's true. And I agree with that, but you can look at certain performances and say you can be impressed, right?
Yes.
I mean, certainly, look, you look at what Tua and Tyreek Hill had, and there's no way not to be impressed by that. And we said this before, if Tua stays healthy, and it's a big if, right? It's a pretty big if. That team is probably winning that division.
There's a very good chance of it.
If he stays healthy, right? You obviously have to be impressed by that. And I think you're impressed by these guys not only because you didn't expect them to come. Look, you got to be impressed by Breece Hall, right? How many?
Stunned.
127 yards.
I'm stunned by Breece Hall because I don't believe in running backs the year after ACL surgery.
Right.
And
there's been one. Adrian Peterson. Yep.
Hall looked, now again, maybe it's because he's 21 and he can recover just a lot quicker and work out a lot harder. But I was not expecting the speed that I saw on those runs.
And that's what gives Jets fans hope. It really does. Because if you look at what happened last year before Hall got hurt, this team had an identity. this team could run the ball.
Yes.
You weren't banking on Michael Carter, right? You weren't banking on
You had the 3 best rookies in the NFL.
That's right. And you look at the defense and what they did, and you saw Garrett Wilson make a catch that I don't even understand how he did that, right? The wherewithal to do that.
Yeah,
look, you lose Aaron Rodgers, that is really bad. But there is hope for this team. This team is not I don't believe in the 5-win season. I don't believe that's coming.
No, I don't either. Again, I don't know what their schedule looks like. We don't have to go through every
their schedule is horrendous. I mean, they play the NFC East, they play the AFC West, and they play the AFC East. I mean,
yeah, that's tough. That's a tough schedule.
We can go through it, right? You got the Bills, then you got the Cowboys at Dallas this week. That is a loss, and a loss, and a loss. And the only thing that I hope is that everybody comes out healthy. They played the Pats at home. They played the Chiefs at home. Okay, if they go 2-2, right, in the first 4 games, then they go at the Broncos. That could conceivably be a win. Okay, 3-2. At home against the Eagles, that's a really tough game. That's a loss. 3-3. They play at the Giants. That's a home away game. But let's call that a loss. 3-4. Home against the Chargers, probably a loss. 3-5. At the Raiders, let's call that a win. 4-5. At the Bills, let's call that a loss. 4-6. Home against the Dolphins. They always split the Dolphins, so let's call this one a win. 5-6. Home against the Falcons, a win. 6-6. Home against the Texans, 7-6. At the Dolphins, 7-7. At home against the Commanders, which could conceivably make or break their season here. Let's call that a win. 8-7. And your last 2 games are at the Browns and at the Patriots. You're 8-7. If you're 8-7 going into those 2 games, this season was a success with Zach.
Yes, it was.
And if you can beat the Pats in New England in the last game of the season, you'll be 9. According to what I just did, you'll be 9-8. And you know what? 9-8 might get you in the playoffs. It might. It might not, but it might. 8-9 will not get you in.
No. 9-8 will, because of the difficulty of the AFC East, 9-8 will still be difficult, but it gives you a shot. I think it's going to take 10 wins to get in the AFC. In the NFC, 9-8 should do it.
Yeah. I mean, hold on a second. So yeah, I agree with that. So, all right. So if we're looking at, so moving on, right? So we have a couple of things that happened in different sports this week. First of all, the Mets go get David Stearns. Thank God. Thank God. After Zach Porter, after Sandy Alderson again, a GM that might actually do something worthwhile. Yes, please. Yes, please. But here we are again with the Mets looking about next year or the year after, and it's hard when you see the Braves doing what the Braves do, right? So they retired. I did want to ask you this. So the Braves retired Andrew Jones's number this week, number 25. What are your thoughts on retired numbers in general?
It's like it's an appreciation day. I don't see any. I think it's silly, unless someone has done something so extraordinary that it's worth warranting, hence a Jackie Robinson. But to retire the Billy Martin number, to retire Andrew Jones's number, why? Can't you could just put him in a Ring of Honor or a Wall of Fame or whatever it is without retiring the number. Again, unless you're Michael Jordan with Chicago, or you're LeBron with Cleveland, or you're Brady with New England. Look, the connection is so special And it's so where it would be blasphemy to do so. I find it silly.
So
Andrew
the
Jones is a nice player, but doesn't fulfill that criteria whatsoever.
so the Braves retired number: Chipper Jones, John Smoltz, Bobby Cox, Dale Murphy, Warren Spahn, Greg Maddux, Phil Niekro, Eddie Matthews, Hank Aaron, Tom Glavine, Jackie
What the
Robinson.
hell do they have? What the hell do they have left?
Well, no, they've retired 10, 29, 6. Yep, number 3. You realize they don't even have close to the most retired numbers, right?
Yeah, I'm assuming the Yankees do. Because they literally have 1 through 10 is retired at this point.
Yeah.
1 is Martin, 2 is Jeter, 3 is Ruth. I don't know who 4 is. 5 is DiMaggio.
You don't know who 4 is?
6 is Yogi. 7 is Manning.
Wait, you don't know who 4 is. So 3 is Ruth.
I don't know anybody's phone though. I don't know anybody's.
Hold on. 3 is Ruth. Who's 4?
Oh, Garrick, probably.
Okay.
Okay.
I was like, how do you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
All right, so here's the Yankees. Martin's 1, Jeter's 2, Ruth 3, Garrick 4, DiMaggio 5, Torrey 6, Mantle 7, Berra and Dickey are 8, Maris is 9. So there's no single numbers left. 10 is Rizzuto, 15 is Munson, 16 is Whitey Ford, 20 is Posada, 21 is O'Neill, 23 is Mattingly, 32 is Howard, 37 is Stengel, 42 is Mariano and Jackie, 44 is Reggie, 46 is Pettit. I'm actually shocked Pettit's numbers retired. 49 is Guidry, and 51 is Bernie. Holy smoke. So they have 24 numbers retired. The Giants have 14. The Dodgers surprisingly only have 11. And the second highest is the Cardinals at 16. My view on retired numbers is it needs to be an objective standard, which means you shouldn't get a retirement unless you're in the Hall of Fame or something along those lines, right?
Yeah, but I mean, so Phil Rizzuto, who is in the Hall of Fame, should be.
Well, it at least gets him to that barometer. I mean, I if you look at the Celtics, right? I mean, I think they have actually more than the Yankees. They have 23 numbers retired. 23. And three of them are for owners. So owners or coaches. So I mean, it's just really hard, right? And Andrew Jones retirement. Look, is Andrew Jones a Hall of Famer? You know he didn't make mine, right? I mean, he never had.
Well, you only had 53 people in it, so it's kind of hard. He certainly wouldn't be in that number.
My small Hall of Fame. So retire his jersey. The Rangers are going downhill, which can't make me any happier with the fact that Max Scherzer is not going to make the playoffs probably. They are now where are they? They're out of the wild card.
I thought they were a game out. Are they further?
I thought they were further. Oh no, they're half a game out. You're right. They're half a game out. No, they're half a game in. Sorry, they're half a game in. But they have been 5-5 and they've been struggling like crazy. They've won their last 4, but Scherzer's now on the DL. So not great in its own right. So with the NFL right here, we should talk about the U.S. Open a little bit, right? Right? And I'll let you lead this because obviously, once again, Djokovic is the greatest guy in the history of sport, right? I mean,
in the history of sport?
I know.
Look, that's what he called me and told me.
But here's my question. Has Djokovic dominated a sport more than any other player has dominated their sport in history?
No.
Really?
No.
Okay, the only person I'm coming up with is Babe Ruth.
No.
Okay.
He's not even the most dominant tennis player of all time. I mean,
So who's the most dominant tennis player of all time?
Serena. Or it's Steffi Graf. I mean, for 5 years, I mean, you can probably take a look. I can probably look it up. I mean, everyone kind of forgets about Graf because I'm not going back to the 50s and 60s. I don't think that's a fair comparison.
Won 5 consecutive singles majors. And she won 66 straight matches. Steffi Graf.
Yeah, I think.
Not the most of all time, by the way. Martina won 72.
Martina won in 1 year, won 82 out of like 85 matches. So I'm just looking here. Okay. 87, she won the French, lost in 2 finals. In 84, she won 88, she won all 4 majors, the Grand Slam, plus 1, I think, an Olympic gold. 89, she won 3 out of 4, lost in the final in 1. 90, made 3 out of 4 finals, won 1, lost 2. That is as absurd a 4-year run. So out of 16 possible championships, she went to 14 finals.
That ain't bad.
No. Look, Djokovic, you want to make the argument Djokovic is the greatest greatest tennis player of all time? You can make the argument. It's certainly not unfair. He's going to go down as the best of the big 3. Whether he's the best or not, I don't know, just because his longevity is allowing him to do so. Nadal's body didn't hold up, and Federer's game just didn't hold up for as long a period of time.
But isn't that part of it, though? Your body need. We talk about longevity as a part of the game, right? You can either go. You say this all the time. You can either have a great peak, or you can have a compiler and be long. But it's very hard to have both. And he's actually had he's Hank Aaron, right?
Yeah. You can make the argument he's the best tennis player of all time. Do I think he is? No, but you can. It's certainly
so who's better than him?
Again, over 15 years, there's probably nobody at peaks.
Well, and that's where you're going, right? Is if you want to make the claim. Look, who's the best pitcher of all time? It's Sandy Koufax for a peak.
For 5 years.
There's nobody that's going to hit him. Nobody in the world that's going to hit Sandy Koufax. If you want to make a peak argument for hitting, you might say it's Mickey Mantle for the first 5 years of his career, or Ted Williams for for a 5-year period, or even Barry Bonds, obviously, for a 5-year.
Actually, I think Williams is more, I don't want to say as a compiler, because he took 5 years. He played for 21 years. In his 20th year, he hit 388.
Right, but he won 2 Triple Crowns in a 5-year period.
Yes.
So I'd say that's why I'm going a 5-year period, right? You want to take Babe Ruth when he had 54 and then 60, have at it, right? You want to put those two, right? You can state those two. But when you get to if you want to say the best career over the course of 20 years, you're talking about Williams and Aaron. And Stan Musial. Those 3 guys. That's it. 20 years. Those are the guys. You want to put Barry Bonds in there? Go ahead. I take Barry Bonds out, just as a general notion for me. But if you want to make a claim, go right ahead. But are you saying – I think longevity is part of it. You'll never say that Sandy Koufax is the greatest pitcher ever. You just won't.
No.
So
no. But again, there's a difference between a 5-year run and a 10 to 12-year run versus a 20-year run.
Okay.
So, like we as you said, we've talked about this. Yeah, Koufax for a 5-year run is about as just like Maddox in the early 90s for a 5-year run was as good as it possibly won. Didn't he win 4 Cy Youngs in a row?
Yep. But I put Maddox up in the top pitchers ever conversation for the
I understand
as well.
Because he pitched for 15, 16 years. Would I put Djokovic's peak above Federer's peak or above Nadal's peak? Probably not.
Okay.
But you can't call him a compiler because a compiler has a negative connotation.
Right. Compiler is Ron Sutton. A compiler is Harold Baines.
Cal Ripken playing for 21 years. And Sorry, my
You're
feeling.
gonna bring a lot of. Let's go with Don Sutton. I think that's probably a better.
Gaylord Perry.
No, Gaylord Perry won a Cy Young. You'll never get him in the
In
compiler.
over 25 years. Phil Niekro.
Okay.
Yeah, the idea is the same. They pitch for 30 years. He's a good player. I'm not making that argument with Djokovic. Djokovic is a sensational player. I think it's a very easy argument to say he's the greatest player of all time, but the greatest over an extended period. But what at his peak is he better than Nadal? Is he better than Federer or Sampras? I don't know. Maybe
comparing eras, right? We talk about that all the time. It's really hard to deal with that type of stat. He's obviously in your small Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah,
right.
You can't have none of the big 3.5. Not Andy Murray's in it too.
Andy Murray's in your small Hall of Fame?
Yeah, Andy Murray won 7 Grand Slams.
So the Tennis Hall of Fame, I'm just wondering how many members. Because I'm interested in seeing if you could do it. How many players are in the Tennis Hall of Fame? 262.
200? Okay.
So we put 50 out of 350. So that's 1/7, right? So if you divide 262 by 7, you're getting about 36 players. Can you put 36 players in your small Tennis Hall of Fame?
Oh, we're doing this. Okay.
In 10 minutes.
Hey, let's go. Can you read them to me?
36 players. I'm going to get the members, and you tell me, all right, we're going to write this down. Agassi.
Put it as a maybe for now.
Daphne Ackhurst. I don't know who half these players are.
No idea who she is. No idea who she is.
Fred Alexander.
No idea who he is.
Wilmer Allison.
I don't know any of the first 6.
You're not going to know a lot of these players. Manuel Alonso.
Him, I is vaguely. I don't know enough.
James and Malcolm Anderson. My thoughts are they're brothers.
Wow, you're sharp. I don't know who they are.
Arthur Ashe.
Put him to the side for now.
Juliet Atkinson.
No idea.
Honey Bunny Austin.
No.
Tracy Austin.
No.
Wilfred Baddeley.
No.
Maud Barger Wallach.
No.
By the way, inducted in 1958.
There you go.
Probably why you don't know. Boris Becker.
No, because I put Agassi above Becker.
That's what
Agassi won all four Masters.
Carl Bear.
No.
Pauline Betts Addy. Blanche Bingley Hillard.
No. But to be fair, I don't know who some of these players are.
Right, and I think this is going to, we're already down to 25, and you've put nobody in because you haven't known half these people. So I don't think all right, so let me put the guy.
I'll start running through this list very quickly.
No. So okay, well, I think the point is right. So let me give you some of the guys that you would know, and you tell me if they are right. Yeah. So how about Todd Woodbridge?
No, they go because of the doubles. I'm not. It's like a relief pitcher. I'm not putting any relief pitchers.
That's Villander.
Maybe.
I love Mats Villander, by the way.
Okay.
He goes right along with Stefan Edberg to me.
Okay, so you're going from the bottom up.
I'm going from the bottom up. Bill Tiden.
Yes.
Okay. You got one. Great. Helena Sokova.
No.
Margaret Smith Court.
Unfortunately, yes.
Have to put her in, right?
Yes.
Stan Smith.
Yes. I have to look at his stats. I actually don't know, to be fair.
Pam Shriver.
No, she's a doubles player.
Doubles. Monica Seles is in.
Yes.
Okay. Pancho Segura.
Yes.
Peggy Scriven. Margaret Peggy Scriven.
No.
Dick Savitt.
No.
Best name, Arantxa Sanchez Vicario.
She makes it, as does Manuel Santana.
Excellent. Pete Sampras is in.
Yes.
Safran.
No.
Gabrielle's the hottest tennis player, Gabriella Sabatini.
No.
Darn it. Elizabeth Ryan.
No.
Ellen Roosevelt.
No, we're also going to put in Ken Rosewall.
Oh, Ken Rosewell, right. Okay. How about Andy Roddick? You said yes, right?
No,
Oh, no. You said yes to Murray, no.
no. Roddick gets kind of screwed because he was the second best player in the world for about 4 years, but he couldn't be Federer, and he only
How
has one
about
Master.
Riggs?
I think he makes it because you kind of have to put him in.
Do you? Okay.
I think so.
All right. Patrick Rafter.
No.
Mary Pierce. I'm just putting guys that I recognize here. There aren't many. These guys are all old. Yana Novotny.
No.
Yannick Noah.
No.
John Newcomb's got to be in, right?
Yeah, I believe Newcomb would be in.
And Navratilova's in.
Navratilova's a no-brainer.
How about Natase?
Billy Natasi, no.
John McEnroe. By the way, McEnroe on ESPN2 was tremendous.
Yes, he was.
He was really funny. Conchita Martinez.
No, but Alice Marble is a yes.
Alice who?
Alice Marble.
Oh, Alice Marble. Okay. Hannah Manlakova.
No.
Lee Na. I don't even know who that is.
She was the one who actually brought tennis to China.
Okay, so Lee Na.
She maybe as a contributor or not as a player.
She won 2 Grand Slam titles.
What? We're talking the top 15%. It doesn't work. So no.
What? Okay.
We're talking the top 15%.
Yvonne Lendl.
Yes, and so same with Suzanne Langland below that.
Rod Laver.
Yes.
Lacoste. Renee Lacoste.
Renee Lacoste. He started Izod. Yeah.
I understand. That doesn't make him a tennis guy.
Yeah, no. Again,
no.
Okay.
He's in. Jan Kodis.
Going too far up. Jack Kramer makes it.
Jack Kramer makes it. Billie Jean King.
Yes.
Kafelnikov. Love that guy's name. Kafelnikov? No?
No.
Jones Farquhar. 1899 to 1902 U.S. Open.
It's a little bit beyond my scope.
Bill Johnson.
Oh, no.
Another great name. Goran Ivanisevic.
No.
Don't know any of these guys.
Harry Hopman makes it as a contributor.
Okay, Hopman.
Lou Hode probably makes it.
Okay. Martina Hingis.
Put to the side.
How do you not put Hingis in? Okay.
Because she's what do you call it? She probably makes it, but she's also Terrell Davis.
Okay. Isn't that Monica Seles is really Terrell Davis?
Monica Seles got stabbed.
That's Terrell Davis.
Martina Hingis had a cocaine problem.
Had a back problem. Okay. Leighton Hewitt.
I don't know.
Okay. Justine Henin.
Yeah, I think she probably makes
117 weeks is the number one. Okay. I'm going up because I don't know any of these guys. Steffi Graf, yes.
Yeah.
How do you put Steffi and not her husband in? I'm kind of wondering.
He's going to end up making it.
Ivan Gulag.
Ivan Gulag makes it.
Pancho Gonzalez.
Makes it.
Athea Gibson.
He makes it.
100%. Gigi Fernandez. That's a no.
No, but Neil Frazier probably makes it.
She's a doubles person, Gigi.
Neil Frazier makes it.
Chris Evert, absolutely in.
Of course.
Roy Emerson.
Yes.
Okay. Stefan Edberg. If Vilander.
Yes. Yeah, him and Vilander are I'm going to end up putting in Vilander. So
both of them are really nice guys, by the way. Dorothea Chambers Douglas. 7 Wimbledon titles.
I'll be honest, I don't know who she is.
Okay.
1908. So yeah, sure. I mean.
Okay. Lindsay Davenport.
We'll do Lottie Dodd first.
Lottie Dodd.
Charlie Lottie Dodd.
Okay. Davenport.
On the border.
If you're putting in Haneen, I think you got to put in Davenport. Just my take. Okay. Jim
Uh,
Courier.
No,
Ashley Cooper.
I don't even know who that is.
Okay. Kim Kleisters.
How about Jimmy Connors?
Jimmy Connors. I saw him as James. Okay.
And then Little Mo, Maureen Connolly makes it too.
Okay. Michael Chang.
No, Kim Kleisters does make it.
Kim Kleisters makes it. Okay. Jennifer Capriati.
Oh.
Rosemary Castles. Okay.
Okay, also Don Budge.
Don Budge, Bjorn Borg.
What do I got left? How many
That's
do I have?
it. That's it.
How many?
So how many do you think you picked, give or take?
25?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 38. But you know half the people either, which is not helpful.
Yeah.
Maybe a third of the people, right?
Yeah, it's two.
Even if a third get in, you're still under your amount.
Yeah.
So good job.
Thank you.
I will not be doing golf next week. It will not happen. So, all right, we got about 3 more minutes. You got anything?
Do we want to talk about the Jim Trotter lawsuit?
I think that's a next week conversation. That can be pushed off at least for 1 more week. But that's going to open up a whole can of whoop ass on a whole lot of people.
Good stuff.
So for those that are celebrating, a very happy New Year this week to the members of the tribe. And if you are atoning, please do so in a safe manner. Well, you got the 10 days of atonement.
Yeah, but you don't. I only atone for 1 day. I haven't screwed up too much.
You don't have much to atone for, my friend. So for Seth Cavins over there, I'm Sean Palmer over here. Seth and Sean Sports. We'll be back next week. And quite frankly, we'll talk more Jim Trotter. We'll talk more NFL, and we'll see what Zach Wilson brings to the Dallas Cowboy party. So have a good week, everybody. See ya.
Have a good one. Bye.